I am basically recording this tonight to ensure that Facebook or this Jewish woman right here, Crystal Newman, does not get away with basically violating constitutional rights and like freedom of speech, trying to censor the truth. If you see what she said, look what I said. Can you handle the facts or just use cheap ad hominem debate tactics, Crystal Newman? And I said that in reference to her. I'll go to it. Under this comment, number one, this video, I'm going to go back to that first. The video that I'm commenting on is this sister.
People built this whole motherfucking country, so I guess all of a sudden when we stop working for free, suddenly we're lazy. And didn't Jews own slaves in the South? If you're Jewish and you're mad, oh well, you stole the religion, my nigga. Jewish people were black. You stole it. And everybody knows the reason that our people are in the predicament that we're in right now is because our history has been taken from us. And we think that we're lazy bums when it's so funny that lazy people built this whole motherfucking country. So I guess all of a sudden when we stop working for free, suddenly we're lazy. And didn't Jews own slaves in the South? Did y'all not make the ships and the shackles? So y'all didn't enslave us? You bitch ass niggas. Y'all hate the truth. You hate the fucking...
Alright, now that's what the sister said. The video was posted by...
if you're Jewish and you're mad, oh well, you stole the religion.
Let me pause that. The video was reposted by a page called Stop Anti-Semitism, right? Okay. You heard what the sister said. This is the caption to it. Wife of former NFL player Brent Grimes, Miko, all right, goes on insane anti-Semitic rant claiming Jews are fake. This nutcase literally puts Ice Cube, Nick Cannon, and Larry Johnson to shame. That's what he said, right?
Jewish.
Okay. Let's go and see what she was saying to this young sister when I came in the thread. All right. The sister was going all basically back and forth with her. That's her there, Stacey Nicole. Speaking about how it says God hates Esau. And Crystal said, God will judge you fully, as I will also be judged. You will answer for your hate problem. Good luck. She said God hates Esau, and God said that in the Bible, and Paul quoted it. Paul quoted that Esau have I hated and Jacob have I loved, okay? So she didn't do nothing but tell the truth. All right. Esau was the father of the Edomites, right? So I came in and saw her, I saw her basically trying to accuse this sister of hatred. So I said, as you see there, we hate lies and liars. We hate the fact we over here getting over. Whoa, I need to go back and edit that. I'll edit that while we on here since I can do it. Edit. Over sentenced is what I meant to type. Over sentenced. And shot for reaching for wallets after the United Nations rewarded the whole nation to its rightful owners and converts with no DNA. Let me go and finish this first. Update. Converts with no DNA from the Middle East at all living in our land. The F you mean, Crystal? Some things should be hated. I need to edit that too. I have hate there. Some things should be hated. This is random, y'all. Bear with me. I'm doing it just in case they do what she is telling me she wants to do. All right. you should hate. Hold on. I'll make some typos. You should hate being a liar and squatter. All right. And then the main thread is what I posted. Before I read her comments, I posted all that the Europeans who don't like what she said can do. Speaking of the video of the sister, Miko's wife, I said all that y'all can do is accuse us, who are the hated, accuse us who are the hated of being hateful and racist. We are not racist for hating lies and being pissed with liars. How did Semites who lived in ancient Goshen, modern Tel El Daba archaeological site, go from the appearance of these statuettes Egyptians made of the Semitic slaves who built Ramses to white people? Israel Museum, over there in their own museum, people, for all to go see them. The jig is up. Racism is thinking your race is superior to another race. We all know who that is. Inferring white people, it is pretty clear that they make it very obvious that they feel that their race is superior to other races. It's not us. When you get upset because you have become a victim of racism, you are not being racist. The definition of racism is to feel your race is superior. We are trying to get equality and to be treated fairly and to stop being over-sentenced and killed for reaching for a wallet and the murderers go free and things like that. And we are trying to become equal. We are not esteeming ourselves as superior. That is racism. We are looking for civil rights and justice. We are looking for justice and civil rights. We are not esteeming our race above other races, even though you have some pseudo camps that do so. But as a whole, as a black people, when most black people don't even know who we are, much less a part of a Hebrew Israelite camp. But as a people, we're seeking to become basically treated equally and not, over sentenced and murdered and a murderer goes free. That's not racism. We hate injustice and we hate being victims of racism. All right. So it is not, racism is not being pissed for being lied to and watching people live in a land that belongs to you while you get over sentenced and gunned down. And I posted a link for her to go see. All right. I'm going to click on this link. Bear with me. I got 2%. Well, I was randomly doing this. Let me go plug my phone up before it hangs up. I don't want this to fail because I'm going to get paid. I'm going to get broke off and break bread with y'all if they do what she's asking them to do. Alright, the original Black Hebrews, and it posts pictures of the slaves in Egypt. That don't look nothing like that Lady Crystal, all those people in Israel does it. Not only that, we're going to go down and you'll see that there's obviously Negroid hair. Look at the beard and the hair. And that is a figurine of a Semitic slave in Egypt during the time of the Exodus from the Hecht Museum, Haifa, Israel. They have these figurines in their museum and they looking at them. How can they think that those people are their ancestors and not ours? How are those people that look like that not our ancestors, but are theirs? Okay, that's enough right there on that issue. Then I went down and I posted a video that you will also see on my page that I posted 15 minutes. All you naysaying Europeans and Edomite and European converts to Judaism will agree with what this sister, speaking of Miko's wife, said in the video. The only way to remain comfortable in that lie, the lie that they are the rightful people of Israel and not us, is to ignore their own literature and DNA. If you'll go to my page and watch that, you'll see I bring out 3 quotes from their own literature, the Jewish Encyclopedia and Jewish Almanac and all that, confessing that they are Edomites and they only started to claim to be Israelites in 1860 and is not properly called a modern Jew, an ancient Israelite, or an ancient Israelite, a modern Jew. Right, know who they are, and it says that Edom is modern Jewry. You know, confession, man, that is not some pseudo source. Those are their encyclopedias and almanacs, and, you know, stuff like that, man. That's a wrap. But then I posted another video I also have on my page. Can you handle the facts or just use cheap ad hominem debate tactics? Speaking of her running back and forth with this, playing this anti-Semitism card, or you hate us card, or this Holocaust card, which I hate that those people died in the Holocaust. Don't get me wrong. Number one, Edomites are our brothers, and these people actually practice the religion that we forsook and all that. So I'm not mad at them for that. What I'm mad at is them squatting on a land that was given to blood Israelites and claiming that they are blood Israelites, all while we over here being told we are niggers and don't know who we is. You know what I'm saying? And telling us it don't matter, and all while we steady being gunned down for reaching for wireless and walking home with a hood on our head, or, you know, police standing on our arteries with his knee and killing us and choking us to death for selling loose cigarettes and, you know, stuff like that, man. While we over here going through that, they over there balling out in a country that belongs to us, that was awarded to the blood Israelites by the United Nations. But because we didn't know who we were, and they had a history of practicing Judaism, they weren't them a converts. But they was awarded the land, thinking that these are the blood Israelites. Lie. Okay. Now we finding out. We know what's up now, buddy. All right. So, look what she responds. I don't answer to you. White privilege, you know how they act, spoiled brats. You're only an authority to yourself. Save your propaganda for your own consumption. I have sent a complaint to the moderator for this post. I will be sending a complaint to Facebook for hate speech next. Karen. Okay. Go ahead. I see. It's not hate speech. It's a video showing documented historical facts. They won't do anything about it. Done. I will keep reporting till someone does. That's a promise. I laughed at them. They won't. They don't answer to you. They are rules this government forces them to live by. I know the law. And just got Zuckerberg a $7 billion fine. LOL. He knows who I am. Yeah, I screenshotted stuff that they were saying to me, threatening me, telling me you being watched about things that I was revealing about these secret societies and all that, and got them in trouble for violation of privacy. A couple of years ago, they started going through all type of trials and stuff all over CNN behind what I was exposing, because I was screenshot what they were saying to me, because I ain't scared of them. You see what I'm saying? Little money don't scare me. I'll die for the truth. They want to send a hitman and kill me, do that, but I ain't gonna shut up. They dealing with the right one now. We ain't them little old folks over there in the middle of East. We came up in these projects that wasn't nothing but wars on. We ain't scared to die. We been trained to stand up for and die for what we stand for. You know, they gonna have to kill us. We used to seeing death and semi-automatic weapons and wars and bullets flying everywhere. What you mean, man? You know, just come on. But anyway, all right, moving on. So he ended up getting a $7 billion fine just recently, but behind all that. But that's what I told him. So now, look, you see how they do with my page? I did not do that. That happens all the time. Somebody is watching my page somewhere. They have hacked my page, and then when I be posting things that they don't like, and especially if I leave it there on the screen where they just got to read something that just irks them and just they hate it, they will back up out of it. You see that? I swear on my children and my mother, I did not just touch that screen. Matter of fact, if I would have touched it, you see those arrows at the bottom, you would have saw it do that right there. You saw how that arrow that goes back lit up when I touched it. You didn't see that just a minute ago. That's going to be proof that they watching my page and have hacked my page also because of information that I have and reveal that they don't want known. I'm from y'all. Y'all don't got y'all, buddy, on film, on my screen recorder. It's a wrap. We finna find out exactly who did it, and we finna get you for your pockets, buddy. Yeah. I'm glad you did it while it was on film, so nobody won't think I'm just joking. Y'all didn't see that little arrow at the bottom left-hand corner show up like I touched. You see how I did then? It didn't do that just a minute ago. We're going to go back in here to Miss Crystal Newman's post. You know, this post right here. Let's go back in there, friends. Follow me now. So then I came with this. All right, look. Got him. In case you don't think a black person can be trusted or educated, here's one of the white Jews giving a lecture in the Boston University Center for African Studies classroom. A professor himself. Remain ignorant or choose to be informed. All right. Now, I posted the link. And then another filmed in a classroom by them. Their own professors and those who are educated, and not just the laymen. They know these things, and they hide them. They won't advertise them because they know this will be like the biggest scandal in world history. While they around here got all these Christians sending them money, pray for the Jews, all this Holocaust, all while we done suffered the real Holocaust, 200 million of us. They talking about 6 million of them, which, like I said, I value all lives. I hate that happened to them people. You see what I'm saying? But my thing is how they always talking about this 6 million of them and giving Semitic crime reparation to them and the whole nation to them because of what happened to them, and got these Christian people thinking that these are just the people of God and, you know, pray for Israel and don't persecute the Jews. And the Christians really believe that because of this false worldview that was forced on them. All while ignoring 200 million. A whole other 194 more million of us, blood Israelites, murdered by Islam, Catholicism, and Protestants. The same Christians who talking about pray for these Edomites because they look like them, number one, so it makes them more inclined to pray for them and accept them as God's people. They can't see us as God's people, even though we were the first thing he created, and that's just a scientific fact. You feel me? Think about that, y'all. But look, and not only that, we know that black people, Negroes, by DNA science tracing back to one black man in East Central Africa and being able to produce by what he looked like, it shows, if you'll research Finding Adam and watch that documentary, they'll show you what the DNA will say it traces back to and how he would look as a Negro. All right. We know that the Lord preserved a pure seed at the flood, so we already know the original man was Negro, then the pure seed he saved at the flood would have been Negro, right? Okay. So here we go. He calls out Abraham, and through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob preserves another pure seed for the Messiah to come through. Because Satan tried to pollute the seed, the original seed, to stop him from coming. We know this already. All right. So he gave them laws against mixing in order to preserve this pure seed, this pure Adamite seed. to bring his Messiah into the world. So he couldn't have been nothing but a Negro. You see what I'm saying? If the Lord was preserving a seed of the original mankind to bring the Messiah to this world, and the original man was Negro, Messiah had to be Negro. That's just logic. But we ain't going to just stick with logic, because sometimes what seems logical could be missing the element that will throw the logic off. So we're going to trust in thus said the Lord. So I went down and got onto the scripture. Now, the Edomites are Semites too. Y'all are Edomites according to your own literature. Get over it. We are Israelites. An archaeological, historical, and biblical fact. The Bible says Israelites are like Cushites. The true Israel will be gathered from African and West Asian nations, including
people were black. You stole it. And everybody knows the reason that
Shut up, baby. You already did what I need you to do.
our people are in the...
Come on, Sister Hush. Alright. Let's go back down here. I got him now. Here on film. Alright, let's see. I'm just going to go to the scripture, let y'all see it. It says the Israelites like Cushites, and they will be gathered from African and West Asian nations, including Sub-Saharan Africa. The lands beyond the rivers of Cush. That's Sub-Saharan Africa, in case your geology is bad. Not Ukraine, Russia, Spain, England, etc. And then post the scripture. Are you not as the this is the Lord? Do you believe and trust in the Lord with all your heart? Or do you trust in Bible prophecy teachers who are man? And tell you that the 1948 UN declaration and the 1967 war was some miracle, and it was the Lord's work and the return of Israel, the second return of Israel, because the first return was under Israel. We know that. All right. Those people don't look like, they ain't like no Cushites, man. I'm sorry. They ain't like no Cushites. We are, though. Then he goes on to list to say things like, have I not brought you up out of the land of Egypt? That's in Africa, man. Egypt, Cush, they in Africa. Famous thing. And then, and the Philistines from Caphtor, that's the delta of Egypt in Africa. And Assyrians from Ker, that's Libyan Cyrene in northwest Africa. All right. And then went on to tell her where he was going to bring us from. You see what I'm saying? Who do you trust, Christians? Who do you trust? The Rothschild banking family? Or do you trust the Lord? This is the word of the Lord. Who you trust? All right. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. Get you a map. Don't take my word for it. Take the Lord's word and go look at this planet. Look at the rivers of Ethiopia and look beyond them. Don't take my word for it. Take his and look and see for yourself. Beyond the rivers of Ethiopia is the heart of Sub-Saharan Africa. West Africa and South Africa. Those are the lands. Go look at it. Take my word for it. Who you trust? All right. He said, from those lands, the daughter of my dispersed, his dispersed. I don't know about who dispersed this year that's in Israel now that don't look like no Cushite and ain't come from Sub-Saharan Africa and all that beyond the land, the rivers of Egypt. Ethiopia. I don't know who dispersed they is, but look, then I said, nobody dried up no Egyptian sea or Euphrates for you, Crystal Newman. Your return is a fraud. There is no Egyptian sea or Euphrates in between Israel and Europe. Did I lie, y'all? Tell me, did I lie? Am I being racist by telling the truth? Is the truth now hate speech? There is no Egyptian sea or Euphrates river in between Israel and Russia, Ukraine, Spain, France, Germany, all these other places where they came from. Somebody lying. Either the Lord lying or they lying. Either the Lord lying or these Western European prophecy teachers lying. Somebody lying. And I bet you it ain't him. I put my life on it ain't him. All right, let's continue. And it shall come to pass in that day. Look how he said he was going to bring about this second return. He didn't say I was going to tell the UN to make a decree and then kill a whole bunch of Arabs in 1967 in 6 days. He didn't say that, did he? Look at what he's saying. Read it, y'all. There you go. Tell me what thus saith the Lord is. Who you believe, who you follow. The Rothschild banking family that owns this country, that this country puts you up for collateral to get $120,000 worth of money, printing power, is the reason why they control this country and its policies. And the reason why they in Israel and this country backs them and promotes their agendas and their best interests. Because they giving their printing power, their money. It ain't about the truth, it's about bread. All right? Look at what the Lord said, who you follow. The world bankers and the puppets of the world bankers are thus saith Yah. Which one you follow? There go his word right there. I didn't write it and I didn't speak it. He spoke it, and the prophets you say you follow wrote it. How did he say he was going to do it? And where he said it was going to come from? Ukraine, Europe, Russia, and all that? Let's see. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time, as we already know the first time was under Ezra, Nehemiah, and all them. The second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, that's West Asia, not Europe, and from Egypt, that's Africa, not Europe, and from Pathros, which is North Sudan, go look it up, not Europe, that's in Africa, and from Cush, that is Ethiopia in Africa, and from Elam, which is southwest Iran, go verify these things, don't take my word for it, and from Shinar, which is in West Asia, which is Babylon, Chaldea area, and from Hamath, which is in central Syria, and from the islands of the sea, speaking of the Mediterranean Sea. Them folks ain't come from now one of them places. So then, somebody lying. And it ain't the law. I promise you it ain't him. We're going to continue. And from the islands of the sea, and he shall set up an ensign for the Gentiles. Listen, you Gentiles, he's setting it up for you now to give you your opportunity not to get your head busted for putting your hands on the blood children of Israel. You're going to have to straighten it out, or when he come on that cloud, you ain't going to want to see him. While you over here selling folks for money to the Rothschild banking family who are part of these Jewish converts, and you over here gunning down the blood children of Israel, and he already told you, he that touches Israel touches the apple of his eye. Now you are seeing for yourself who Israel is. Yeah. Keep putting your finger in his eye, or straighten it out. Now, look. We're going to continue to read. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations of Gentiles, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed, the slave trade victims of Judah, from the four corners of the earth. All right, so we could just go into our own understanding right there and say, well, no, he said the four corners of the earth, that would include places from Ukraine, Russia, and all that. All right. But part you're going to miss right there is that it's going to be people who are like Cushites from those lands, not people who are like Europeans from those lands. He already told you that Israel is like Cushites, or people who became a nation in Africa by breeding with Egyptians, like Ephraim and Manasseh was made by Joseph by an Egyptian woman or African woman. Yeah. And produce people who are like Cushites. But they use a term over there, they use the word Cushy, which means Cushite. To them it means nigger. So they see the people, the real children of Israel who are like Cushites, as niggas, some derogatory. That lets you know right there that they ain't none of us. They look at the folk that the law said that like Cushite as being bad and call them Cushite like they doing. And you ain't doing nothing but telling me I'm Israel, man, when you call me Cushy. Because the law don't call me like Cushites in a way. Yeah, and so the archaeologist just showed you that. But let's see. Continue. And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea. This is a killer right here. I ain't seen nobody drive no Egyptian sea for them folk. I ain't seen no Egyptian sea, and they sure when the law dried up, no Egyptian sea. Somebody lying here, folk. The law of them folk, and they are United States, Masonic, Luciferian backers. All right. And with his mighty wind, he shall shake his hand over the river, speaking of the Euphrates there, and shall smite it in 7 streams and make men go over dry shore. When y'all seen that, Christian folk, Bible believer? When y'all saw that? Y'all talking about some UN decree and the 1967 6-day war for fear of the second return of Israel? You a lie. Either the Lord is a lie or you are a lie. It ain't no in between. I ain't seen nobody drive up no Egyptian sea for them folk. I ain't seen nobody drive no Euphrates River for them folk. That's something he gonna personally do at his return, as he told you in Matthew 24. That when he come, he gonna send his angels to gather his people. It's gonna be a miraculous return when you gonna see the Lord busting heads and doing it himself, drying up rivers and the sea and everything. But you talking about some UN decree? Yeah, what the UN must have been Christ to you? That was the return of Christ, or UN decree? Well, the UN need to start drying up the Egyptian sea and the Euphrates then, so they can fulfill their prophecy. Or somebody lying. It sure ain't the law. All right, now let's move on. Look here. When you seen somebody walk over them things dry short for them folk from Europe? Somebody lying. He props the teacher over here in the West, and them folks over there that look like him. All the Lord lying. And he say he gonna gather them folk from lands. Gonna dry the Euphrates for the people in West Asia, and he gonna dry up the Egyptian Sea for those people in those lands in Africa that he named, including beyond the rivers of Ethiopia and the heart of sub-Saharan Africa, West Africa, and South Africa. Look at your map, people. Somebody lying. I don't care who get mad with me. If my mama, daddy, sister, any pastor, preacher, apostle, whoever get mad with me, it's going to be thus saith Yah with me. I ain't going to add to it, take from it, change it, alter it, none of it. Because at the end of the day, my mama, my daddy, my sister, these pastors, these preachers, and people I respect, they ain't going to have nothing to say when I'm standing up in front of their throne. Ain't nothing going to count at that moment but thus saith Yah. And on that note, shalom alaikum.